Moving to Mesa and what you should know. If you're thinking about moving to Mesa, Arizona, there's something you need to know before you start looking at houses. Mesa is much bigger and more diverse than people realize. And I know that firsthand because I lived there for more than 20 years. Hi, I'm Kelly Quinn, a local realtor serving Gilbert, Chandler, Queen Creek, Mesa, and communities throughout the Arizona East Valley. My goal is to help you understand what it's really like to buy, sell, and live here so you can make confident real estate decisions. Today I want to talk about what it's really like moving to Mesa and why I think Mesa deserves a serious look if you're considering, relocating to the East Valley. I am not just coming at this from, a real estate perspective. I lived in Mesa for, more than 20 years and in different areas of the city. So I've had the opportunity to watch, Mesa change and grow over, a couple decades. And now that I live in Gilbert, I still spend a lot of time in Mesa, helping buyers and sellers. So I'm still always there. One of my favorite things is showing buyers around Mesa because I get to see, the city from a completely different perspective. And honestly, it's pretty amazing to see how much Mesa has truly changed. Mesa is a big city. So first let's talk about, the size of Mesa. Mesa, has more than like 515,000 residents. It covers about 138 square miles, accordingly. That means when someone tells me that they're moving to Mesa, one of my first questions is, what part of Mesa? Because, Mesa isn't one single lifestyle. You have, your established neighborhoods, you have newer communities, you have mature landscaping, larger lots, areas close to shopping and restaurants, and areas that are closer to recreation and the mountains, and neighborhoods that offer, just different types of homes at different, price points. So before you start searching for homes, I think it's really important to figure out what kind of lifestyle you want. I've watched Mesa change. I remember living in Mesa long before a lot of the development that we see today was even there. And now when I'm driving, buyers around, I'll look around and think, wow, this wasn't there before. There are so many more options for shopping, dining, recreation, and entertainment. You have places, like Mesa Riverview, Superstition Springs, Dana Park, along with other local shopping and businesses throughout the city. And the dining scene has really grown. Mesa has everything from your casual restaurants, local favorites, to international cuisine. Downtown Mesa is poppin'. It has become a destination for restaurants, arts, entertainment, and the Asian district. Asian district there gives you even more options. So as someone who, lived there for more than 20 years, it's really fun for me to see that growth. But Mesa isn't, just about shopping, and restaurants. There are parks, mini parks, golf, there's hiking, biking, water activities, and total access to the Salt River is right there. Mesa also has, strong sports and recreation presence. So along with community events throughout the year, you also have the Mesa Arts Center. There's museums, there's entertainment, and many cultural activities. Of course, baseball fans will know Mesa for that spring training as well, home of the Cubs. So if you're moving to Mesa and you're looking for things to do outside your home, there really is a lot available. And that's something I think people, sometimes overlook when they're researching, Mesa real estate. You're not just buying a house. You are choosing, really a lifestyle. So, let's just example what are like some Mesa neighborhoods. Well, this is where I think local knowledge really matters. Mesa, like I said, it is a big city and neighborhoods can feel very different from one another. Some people, love established neighborhoods, like I mentioned, with that mature landscaping and that, a traditional Arizona feel. Other buyers want newer construction. Some want all the community amenities that those offer. Some want larger lots. Some people want to be close to, the shopping and the restaurants. And then there's others that, worry and care about the commute times or proximity to family. If you are relocating from another state, it can be really difficult to understand those differences, just by looking at those homes online. So, like when I, work with buyers, I don't want to just send them a list of houses. I want to know, like, what is your actual day-to-day lifestyle? What are you looking for? Where are you working? Where do you want to spend, your weekends when you go out? Do you want, restaurants nearby? Lots of questions to ask. Do you, need freeway access, or do you work from home? Are you downsizing? Are you, first time? Is this your first time buying a home? Are you relocating your family? So getting, those answers help determine which part of Mesa, makes the most sense to explore. Mesa, Gilbert, Queen Creek, Chandler, a lot of people, ask, what's the difference? Which one's better to, move to, because each little city is different. So I do get that, asked a lot, comparing the cities. And my answer is pretty much always the same. There isn't really one community that is best for everyone. I mean, Gilbert has, that great suburban feel, while shopping and dining in a strong community kind of atmosphere. Chandler, I mean, has your established neighborhoods, employment centers, lots of restaurants, lots of shopping. Queen Creek, it has a different feel. It has the newer development, a growing community atmosphere. And the Mesa, it offers incredible variety because of its size, its history. It has so many different neighborhoods. So if you're moving to Arizona, I wouldn't recommend choosing your community based solely on, that online list of the best places to live situation. Come and experience them if you can. Drive around, go have lunch in each one. Go shopping, each one. Check out your commute, based on each one. Just spend some time there of the ones that you're interested in and are looking to compare. Because sometimes the community can look perfect on paper and just not feel like you. And then another community you weren't even initially considering can suddenly feel like home. So, I mean, would I say is Mesa, like a good place to live? I think for many people, absolutely. Mesa, has grown tremendously, but it still offers a huge variety of lifestyles. Again, those established neighborhoods, newer construction, the shopping, the dining, the recreation, arts, sports, and access to what, Phoenix metro area has to offer. And because Mesa is a large city, there are options for people in many different stages of life. But if you take one thing away from this video, let it be this. Don't just choose a house, choose the part of Mesa that fits, the way you want to live. After living in Mesa for more than 20 years in different areas, I've seen firsthand how much location can change your experience. And now, that I'm living in Gilbert and continuing to work through the East Valley, I get to see Mesa from a whole different perspective. I get to help buyers discover areas that they may never have found on their own. And honestly, that's one of my favorite parts of what I do. So if you're considering, moving to Mesa, or you are trying to decide between Mesa, Gilbert, Chandler, Queen Creek, any other East Valley community, I am always happy to help you with that and to help you understand the differences. I am Kelly Quinn. I want to help you make an informed decision, not just find a house. Because moving to Arizona is a big decision. And, where you choose to live, well, honestly, that can just make all the difference. If you are thinking of moving to Arizona and trying to figure out which East Valley community, fits your lifestyle best, my team and I are always happy to help answer those questions and point you in the right direction. Because, home buying isn't just about finding a house, it's about finding the place that feels like home. And if you're thinking about making that move to Arizona, make sure to follow along because we talk a lot about living in Gilbert, Chandler, Queen Creek, and everything you should know before, making your move into the East Valley.